Going on, people? I'm outside. Decided to make a video to kind of talk about 3 aspects that really so far helped me out in life, especially now since I just turned 21 today. It's my birthday, and I've decided to give my little experience on what I got so far. Maybe you guys can give some better advice or more advice or can suggest something. But yeah, I want to get into 3 aspects that really helped me out. Even get started, this is a quick cut. The reason why I even decided to make that video in the first place is because, again, the things that I mentioned before, and because I stopped believing in astrology. I'm still spiritual, but these things that I get into, anybody can do that. And it doesn't take fucking astrology or spirituality to get into these aspects, to try to remove yourself from an environment that isn't good for you or to work on yourself. Also, I think astrology is a whole lot of mumble jumble. To me, it's just nonsense. It doesn't benefit anyone, in my opinion. And these aspects that are mentioned in astrology are things that every human being has and every human being goes through. It's not a special kind of ability you have or a special kind of click that sets you into these parts of emotions. No. Individuality is true, but it does not take a fucking label or a fucking sign to make you outstand from others or put you in that same category. I think that is just nonsense. I think it's like the rank battles in Tekken. It's just a label, nothing more.
Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky.
The first one, making mistakes. Now look, here are 3 things that are inevitable: dying, having people dislike you, and making a mistake. To be afraid to make a mistake is kind of like being afraid of the 2 aspects that I just mentioned. You can't stop it. And depending on nowadays, where social media and people's hostility just kicked in and went through the roof, almost everything is a mistake at this point. And you can't stop it. The only thing you can do, if we talk about mistakes that are in your hands to solve, try to solve that mistake. That's the best thing you can do. To worry about being hated or disliked for that shit, or hell, to even worry about how severe people will react, it ain't doing you no favors. Because the reaction will happen. You know you made that mistake. The only thing you can do is try to solve the issue. That is one aspect. The second aspect, excuse me, I'm walking on the streets. But yeah, this the second aspect. Positivity and negativity. In general, being a good person. I cannot count how many times I heard this where people talked about people are negative, there's a negative environment, I want to be positive, I don't want to be negative or toxic. Let me tell you something. And this is coming from someone who used to be in that train. It don't matter. Positivity and negativity, that shit don't matter. It's subjective, it's the same as good and evil. What you need to be is selfish. Yeah, I've said it. You need to be selfish. You need to be able to worry about you and you only. That is the second part. Now let me get to the third and final one. You're not perfect. Nothing is perfect. You're not special. Nothing is special. See, the things that we perceive as special is completely subjective. And depending on our actions, what we're willing to leave behind in the end, could be a legacy, could be something that benefits others. That is something that is a part of life. That is part of our ambitions, that we're willing to do something to get to that point. It's noble, but you have to know what you're willing to sacrifice for what. That don't mean you're special. And that here's the benefit of not being special. To not be special is to acknowledge the fact that you have flaws and your actions have flaws. Which means you don't have to prove yourself, or you don't have to justify yourself for why things are happening the way they do. If people see your effort, that matters. That matters. If people don't see your effort, what can I say? Fuck them. That's the best way to say it. Fuck them. It's harsh. It's cold. But that is how life is. Because they do the same thing to you. As soon as you say or do something they don't like, what is the first thing they do? They cut you off. Or they treat you like shit. I'm not talking about the ones who criticize you and call you out on your nonsense. Criticism and being a fucking manipulative piece of trash are two totally different things. I've heard a lot of people going in on people who criticize others, saying they're toxic, they're this, they're that, pushing a false narrative. No. If you're one of those people who do that, that actually makes you toxic and you negative. Because to be criticized is for someone to see the flaws, but yet showing interest to what you're doing and to wants it to be better. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to take it. You can still stay in the same position. But criticism is nothing personal. And a lot of people seem to forget that, especially on the internet. That's the weak-mindedness that shows. And unfortunately, we live in a society that glorifies that shit. Just don't be one of them if you're watching this video. That is all I'm asking.
I'm losing control over lights in the space. Keep jumping around.